So I have a word for somebody today. As always, take this back to the Lord, because you want to make sure with every prophetic word that you are sitting with God on this word. You want to test the spirit behind the person releasing it, and also to the importance here is to make sure that we have our own established relationship with God, and we are hearing from the Lord first. Okay, so this should be a confirmation of what God has been speaking to you. And I am re-uploading this video. I had uploaded this previously, but I needed to add some things. In December of 2024 that just passed, on December 17th, the Lord had given me the numbers 555. So January, okay, I just completed a fast, and at the end of that fast, it just so happened to end on the 17th. I broke the fast on the 17th. Had no, I was just led to do a fast for a certain amount of days, and I broke the fast on the 17th. During that time, I had 7 screenshots of the time reading 555, because since December, I started to notice, okay, I see the number 555 often, and also the number 111. Okay, and so there was something that the Lord had did on January 11th, which is 111, okay, in my life, that spoke of double. Okay, and so piece by piece, he had been downloading this word, he'd been putting this word together, but I wasn't entirely sure what he was saying, right? So I have victory, I have grace and favor, right? 5 is the number of grace and favor. And then he gives me double, right? He blessed me in a way that was showing that double, really just what it was. It was something miraculous, right? This was not something that I worked for, right? It was a blessing. It was a miracle kind of thing, right? And so Acts 2:22. Now God has done this before in my life, and I pray whomever is watching this, that you pray to see the Lord show up for you by signs, miracles, and wonders, right? To answer your prayers or speak to you in a way that he demonstrates it by signs, miracles, and wonders, right? Because that's one of the many ways that God will speak to us, right? So Acts 2:22, it reads, "People of Israel, listen. God publicly endorsed Jesus the Nazarene by doing powerful miracles, wonders, and signs through him, as you well know." Okay, and so on January 16th, the Lord spoke a word to me, pardoning. Okay. And then on January 17th, the Lord had blessed me. He had given me a miraculous blessing where he pardoned something for me in the amount of $555. I forgot to mention that this was debt that I owed for a while that I could not pay. And the amount, or I'm sorry, the letter that came with the pardoning said discharge and forgiveness. Okay. On that day, he also spoke to me. This is all on January 17th, right? 17, the number of victory. He spoke to me exonerated, okay, which is synonymous with pardoning, with discharge, with forgiveness, okay? And of course, the amount was $555. Okay, so I had wrote down, he has been displaying his works through signs, miracles, and wonders, right? That's in Acts 22:22. And he had given me that he is putting his people on display. Okay, so in Acts 2:22, right, God publicly endorsed, right? God publicly endorsed Jesus. So to endorse means to make a public statement of your approval or support for something of someone. Okay. So all of what God was speaking through victory, through grace, through favor, through double, right? Through exonerated, pardoning, right? God is speaking through Isaiah 61, and I'm going to read it to you, okay? So this is the year, whoever this word is for, this is the year of the Lord's favor, okay? And This is good news for those who have been oppressed. Okay. The Spirit of the sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies. To all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, festive praise instead of despair. In their righteousness they will be like oaks the Lord has planted for his own glory. Okay. There was another version that I'm reading from the NLT. The NIV version reads it this way. They will be called, this is verse 3, they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. So in this time, well, hold on, I'm sorry. Let me go down a little further to verse 7. Instead of your shame, you'll receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you'll rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. In my faithfulness, I will reward my people and make an everlasting covenant with them. Their descendants will be known among the nations, and their offspring among among the peoples. All will see them and know that they are a people the Lord has blessed. Oh, somebody was pulling up behind me. But yes, let me get into this word. So God is rewarding his people during this time. The words that he had been giving me, right? Exonerated, pardoning, victory. Okay, the words pardoning, exonerated, these are words that were related to, people who have been in prison, people who have been in bondage, right? Think about Joseph in the Bible. I'm talking a lot about, transition on this channel and where my previous videos, people who have been in a season of transition, people have been in a wilderness, a season where it has been tight, right? The scripture says that freedom for the captives, right? A release from darkness for the prisoners, right? To proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. God is turning what was ashes in your life, right? A lot of you had to give up homes, give up your jobs, give up lifestyles, to transition into this call that God has on your life, to walk into just obedience with the Lord. Okay. You have had a spirit of despair. You have been in mourning. I released a word about your heart breaking during transition because this is real, that you're losing friends or losing family, and in order to fulfill the will of God on your life. Okay. You may also be escaping from something, right? Wilderness can also be God making a way for you to escape from something, some sort of bondage. This could be a horrible relationship. This can be, family, enemies of that sort. And you've been doing the work. Okay. Think about how the Lord had given Joseph a promise. Okay. Joseph had a vision. He had prophetic dreams over his life. And imagine him going through what he went through, right? Being betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, being imprisoned, and his situation looking nothing like what God promised him. Okay. Imagine being in that place and all you have is the word that God gave you, but nothing on the outside even looks remotely like what God had spoken. In fact, maybe you're in a place where it feels like a prison, and you quite literally cannot see. If God said you were going to be here, but you're all the way over here in a whole nother land, and you don't even have the finances, or you thought that in this time you would be so much further along, you would have launched into this blessing, this business, this whatever, God has promised you, but it's not looking like that. It hasn't been looking like that. I'm here to tell you that whomever this word is for, that God is speaking, that this is your year of his favor. And this isn't a word where, now some of you may have already been seeing this, right? I had posted a word a month ago about your revival and vindication, right? To sprout anew, right? This is not a word that, okay, I'm just going to release this word and, no, I'm saying this is happening now. Like, God is displaying these words, right? What I'm speaking, grace, favor, victory, through his signs, miracles, wonders. In other words, you are going to see the manifestation of what God is speaking through to you through this word. Okay, if that word resonated with you, right? Pardoning, right? That's forgiveness, that's discharge. You're being set free from bondage, from old habits, from old lifestyles, from your former identity who was not rooted in Jesus Christ, when you didn't know who you were, when you weren't living according to God's will, when you weren't aware of the spiritual, warfare that he put you in the battle and you've been fighting, and you're wondering, is God ever going to come through? Is God ever going to bless me? I've been, on, prophetic word after prophetic word, with the people that he's aligned you with, right? And that's God speaking to you, giving you that help along the way. But I'm here to tell you, do not lose faith, because it is now. If there's any time, and I thought it was so strategic that he gave me this word the beginning of January. Right? It's like sometimes God will answer questions that's just on your heart. Maybe you don't have to pray for something, but you wonder, right? And he'll give you a sign, right? The beginning of this year, right? On the 17th. And he often does that with me on the certain days, right? He'll speak through those days, and I just have to, pay attention, and we got to track him on it. But the 17th really means victory. And so he's showing you that God has no rivals. He has won for you, right? Everything that he has promised you, it is coming to pass. It will come to pass, right? He says a crown of beauty instead of ashes. Okay, oil of joy instead of mourning, a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair, and a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. He's putting his people on display in this hour. Okay, so I want y'all to be encouraged. Again, I'm re-releasing this word because I felt like I wasn't being specific enough in on how God wanted me to deliver this. And so again, I want you guys to take this word back to God and sit with him on it. Of course, to make sure that this is your word for 2025, because for a lot of people, I do believe it is. Okay, and I hope this could encourage whomever was watching, and I will see y'all in my next video.